Modern women are feeling the downside of Me Too.
Listen to this. A side result, an unintended consequence of the Me Too movement has popped up. Male executives and managers, some are now saying they are afraid to work with and mentor female colleagues in the workplace. So we're trying to find out, is it too hard to see the difference between mentoring and harassment? Joining me now to discuss, Tiffany DeFoo, founder and CEO of The Crew and author of Drop the Ball, and Shelley Zala, CEO of The Female Quotient. Tiffany, I turn to you first. So men who are making this argument, well, suddenly now I could be accused of harassment. I can't mentor women anymore.
More male managers avoid mentoring women or meeting alone with them, a survey says. In this Me Too survey, 19% of men said they were reluctant to hire attractive women. 21% said they were reluctant to hire women for jobs involving close interactions with men. And 27% said they avoided one-on-one meetings with female colleagues.
Here are some of the other ones. Working alone with a woman in a private office. 20% of men surveyed said they were uncomfortable with that. Or traveling alone with a woman for work. 26% of men were uncomfortable with that. So if you add all of those together, now men could, in this survey, they could answer that they were uncomfortable to more than one question. It wasn't just pick the one you were most uncomfortable with. But adding it all together, it was only, I believe, 40% of men who were totally comfortable with all of them. 60% of men answered at least to one of the questions that they were uncomfortable.
I'm a woman and I hate Me Too. This is not what anyone needed. Equality means equality, not villainize one gender to lift the other. So many of my respectful, functional, mature, self-assured, non-creepy male friends now say they're genuinely terrified to help a woman, say hello to a woman, compliment a woman, or work with a woman for fear someone will scream, "Me too." Sure, some men need to learn respect and appropriate boundaries. But now every action that involves a woman is taboo. Men can't be sure if consensual sex is actually consensual anymore. Is 2 beers too many? Is she going to accuse him of rape the next day because she had been drinking? There's the theoretical application of anything, then the real-world practice. They are rarely the same thing. I'm behind what Me Too was supposed to do, to make people realize that at least one person they know has been sexually harassed or assaulted, and to not be that person. But the uber-feminists took it way too far. Extremes are bad, no matter what extremes we're talking about. And what about woman-to-woman sexual assault? Man-to-man, woman-to-man? Because that happens too. Are those assaults less valid? What about a woman who is assaulted by a man but doesn't want to share her story? Is she against all women because she doesn't want to say Me Too? Because she wants to keep a painful, personal memory to herself and not relive it? This is shit, and it needs to stop. The people who truly need the wake-up call won't get it anyway. You can't make someone respectful. Any person over the age of 10 knows what rape is and that it's wrong. Any logical person knows an unconscious person can't consent. They do these acts because they want to. They are shitty people. No hashtag will make shitty people unshitty.
Me Too has resulted in women being potentially passed over for job offers and created a larger wage gap. As with all things, the law of unintended consequences takes effect. Now, more than ever, I hear stories of men declining to train or mentor women in the workplace for fear it could lead to a harassment accusation. Attractive women are being passed over for career opportunities because a male hiring manager can see it as not worth the risk. It's troubling because sexual assault is serious and needs the level of awareness that it has. Maybe you gave a congratulatory hug to a co-worker, or when disciplining an insubordinate female, perhaps you put off perceived aggressive body language that could be termed harassment. Me Too has made hiring women a liability. Basically, it boils down to a lot of employers saying they prefer not to hire women because they recognize the reality of the heavy litigation consequences that can arise with a low burden of proof. Books like How to Destroy a Man Now, that are sold on Amazon, further advance this paranoia because they serve as a step-by-step tutorial for women who are interested in learning how to falsify harassment claims in the workplace. Everyone knows legitimate harassment can happen in the workplace, and it's awful. The perpetrators who do this need to be reported and dealt with harshly. Women should be able to enter any workspace without the fear of being harassed.
When we first heard this pop up from Wall Street, Bloomberg had an article. I took issue with it because I can't find any evidence where there was ever any extraordinary mentoring on Wall Street. We've never had a female CEO of a bank. So is this just an excuse?
So here's the thing. I want to talk to all the men out there who have this concern. I want to say that I feel empathy. I understand. You're concerned that you're walking on eggshells. You feel vulnerable in the workplace. You're concerned that your words or your behavior might be misinterpreted as being something other than who you are.
We don't know what the new rules of the road are.
Welcome to the world of being a woman or a person of color or a member of the LGBT community or a person with disabilities in the workplace. That is part of the experience, having to take a risk in showing up. You're concerned that you may be labeled as a creep because you compliment me on my beautiful dress. You know what? Sometimes I'm labeled as the B word because I smile too much. I think that we need to take this new experience that men are feeling in the workplace.
The Me Too movement helped in a lot of ways, especially for women who felt they had no voice. But we cannot deny that there are some women out there with insidious intentions who have capitalized on this movement. After all, women are just as capable as men when it comes to being devious opportunists. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a market for books like How to Destroy a Man Now. A recent video I ran into got me thinking about how the Me Too movement had unforeseen consequences. The lady in it was complaining about how men just aren't making the first move, how even when they go on dates, the men they go out with won't do anything. They won't touch them, won't flirt with them, and won't even get close, usually saying like a full foot apart. And so, she asked one of her guy friends why this was the case. And why aren't men more aggressive? And they said, "You have no idea where she's going with that story. I am not touching nobody." The Me Too movement's whole point was to hold abusive predators accountable, an admirable goal, no doubt. However, it had an unintended consequence, as even the accusation is enough to destroy a man's life, resulting in many men deciding that it's easier to just avoid women altogether. You can't get back your reputation after it's been tarnished, and will always be branded as a predator, even if you're proven innocent, and you will likely never financially recover. But as long as you have money, there are always alternate ways to get your rocks off. This leaves women in a very odd position. More and more men are choosing to not approach women, and even if they are in a relationship, they are far more passive and wary, deciding to prioritize their livelihood over relationships, meaning that it falls on you, the woman, to make the first move and get the ball rolling. And some women either don't know how to or feel they shouldn't have to. Regardless, the Me Too movement ultimately wanted more fair treatment and for creeps and abusers to be held accountable. Instead, it made men arguably fear women, leaving many to feel like they are being punished for something they didn't do. Then again, maybe that's what some women want. Anyway, that's all for today on Manhood. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe buttons, and also click on the notification bell to be the first to know when I drop a new video. If you find value in my videos, you can show your support through PayPal or Cash App. The links are in the description. See you next time. Cheers.